Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
And this is our Aki Banzuke Prediction episode where we're going to go over the results of the Nagoya Basho to predict what the Banzuke is going to look like going into Aki. And so we're just going to start at the top, as always, with the Yokozuna, where whichever Yokozuna has the better record will be on the east side, and the other one will be on the west side. So this time, Kakuryu with the 14-1 record and the Yusho will be your top-ranked Rikshi going into Aki as the east Yokozuna, and Hakuho at 12-3 will be the west Yokozuna.
Brilliant.
At Ozeki, east 1, we have Takayasu. East-west 1, we have Goeido.
And east-west 1.
Yes, exactly. And East 2, we have Tochi no Shin, and that's determined the same exact way as Yokozuna. Whoever has the better record is going to have the best rank. So Takayasu, being the only Ozeki out of 4 that had a winning record, gets to be the top one, followed by Goeido with a commanding 3 wins, taking the second Ozeki spot. And then Tochi no Shin with the 0 wins will be your bottom Ozeki.
But Ryan, what about Ozeki Takakeisho?
That's a good point. I did say 4 Ozeki, but unfortunately that was the second straight losing record for Takakeisho, so he will drop down to Sekiwake, and we will get to him in a moment. I do have...
But what about my feelings?
He does not give a damn about your feelings, I can tell you that.
He's got... Well, I mean, technically right now he's got 1 knee, but I mean, like, he's got 2 knees, which is, like, that should be enough.
Yeah, I don't understand torn ligaments or whatever's going on. You should be able to compete on 2 semi-working knees.
They're both still attached, so I don't know what his problem is. He should have realized that this means a lot to me, that he stays as Ozeki, but I guess he's just going to let me down.
Yeah, I don't actually think if it was up to him, I'm pretty sure he would have gone in this one. You got to send your blame to Chiganuura Oyakata on that one.
Okay, fine. That is who I blame then.
There you go. But a little not-so-fun fact on our boy Tochi no Shin, he has never actually achieved Ozeki 1 rank. So the first 2 Ozeki are going to be Ozeki 1 when there's more than 2 Ozeki, because then you'll have Ozeki 2 for 3 and 4, Ozeki 3 if you got more than that, which I know there's been periods with 5 or 6 Ozeki. But he's always ever been Ozeki 2 East or Ozeki 2 West, meaning that he has always been one of the worst or one of the bottom 2 performing Ozeki in every basho. He's been Ozeki for all 6 or 7.
He has never been better than the 3rd Ozeki.
Yeah. So pretty disappointing for Tochi no Shin there, but understandable with the injury. So hopefully this next one, he'll somehow recover from all his injuries.
Another jerk who just did not consider my feelings that I want him to succeed.
These Ozekis are just terrible at taking us into account when they get injured.
Other than Takayasu is injured.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
But he did okay, and my feelings are strongest for him. I hope he noticed us when we were there.
I can't imagine that he did.
I'm holding out hope.
Well, maybe he did hear the couple of yells for Takayasu that we let loose while we were there. So maybe he noticed us.
That couldn't have been anybody else, that's for sure.
That's true. Going down to Sekiwake, we have on the east side Mitakeyumi, the ever-present Sanyaku Mitakeyumi, and on the west side we have the aforementioned Takakeisho. Now, in this basho, we do have an opportunity for there to be a 3rd Sekiwake slot opened up, which does happen on occasion. It happened when Kodo Shogiku dropped from the Ozeki rank. It happened when Terano Fuji dropped from the Ozeki rank, but I don't think we're going to see it this time around.
And that happens if, there's 2 people that deserve the Sekiwake rank in addition to the Ozeki who's dropping down.
Exactly. So this time we do have Mitakeyumi, who was Sekiwake before, had a winning record, should still be Sekiwake. And we also had Komusubi East Abi, who ended up with a winning record, who would, in normal circumstances, be jumped up to the Sekiwake rank. But since we have Takakeisho coming down, taking one of those slots, I don't think Abi's performance was quite good enough to justify opening up a 3rd Sekiwake rank. So he had an 8-7 record, as I said, but one of those wins was a Fusen win, so technically he really only had 7 wins, and then one of those 7 was also a Major Henka against Kodo Shogiku.
Which was pretty rad.
It was pretty nice from our viewpoint, but as much as we may like that, I don't think the Banzuke committee is going to look upon that as well. We will see, could be wrong, but I think we're just going to leave Abi as the East Komosubi. And so coming up to take Abi's place on the Komosubi ranks is going to be, I believe, Endo. It's pretty close between Endo and Hokuto Fuji. While Hokuto Fuji had the better rank in Nagoya, he was Maegashira 1 West compared to Endo's Maegashira 2 West. Endo had a better record overall, 10-5 versus 9-6. He had a special prize. He beat Hokuto Fuji head-to-head on day 15. And another thing that I've been taking more into consideration is the competition that they both faced to comprise their records. While they both faced a full Sanyaku schedule, they both ended up with 5 wins against the Sanyaku rank, so that kind of washes out. So I think with Endo having the better record and the head-to-head win over Hokuto Fuji and his technique prize, I think all of that is going to overcome the difference in rank that they had for Endo to jump over Hokuto Fuji to take that West Komosubi slot.
And there's at least one of these pretty much every basho that we analyze, but I think this is a really good one to help us learn more about how the Banzuke is selected.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think paying attention to how this one wraps up is going to help us understand better what the priorities are when determining the new Banzuke.
Yeah. And before we leave the Komosubi rank, I just want to throw out another justification for not jumping Abi up into the Sekiwake ranks, because I feel like I have to justify myself quite a bit before Mac and Fleric hear about what I've done to their dear Abi.
The Abi stands?
Yeah, exactly. So back in Nagoya of 2001, there was a fairly similar situation when Ozeki Dejima was demoted from Ozeki to Sekiwake. We had a Sekiwake East with a winning record like Mitake Yumi. We had a Sekiwake West that had a losing record like Tamawashi did. And we had a Komosubi that had a winning record, although this time it was a 9-6 record, but that came from the West Komosubi slot. So technically that guy still did get a promotion over to Komosubi East, but it still was not enough to open up a Sekiwake slot, which we've seen previous situations where that has happened with a good record from Komosubi. So I think that's fairly similar to the situation we're seeing with this basho. So I don't think that's just another reason why I don't think we're going to see 3 Sekiwake slots.
Fair enough.
And just a quick little bonus fun fact, the East Komosubi that had a losing record in that basho was Asashoryu.
Oh, little cameo appearance there in history.
Exactly. So moving on to the Zone of Death, or the rest of the Joy.
Joy being everybody who could potentially face a Yokozuna.
That's correct. The top 16 Nishi.
What we've all been waiting for, the Maegashira.
Maegashira 1. On the east side, we are going to have Hokuto Fuji there. Just unfortunately, with a 9-6 record, only sliding over 1 half rank.
So what do you think about Hokuto Fuji versus Endo here? Like, what's your degree of confidence that that's how they're going to end up?
Oh, 60-40 on my side. Okay. 75-25 on my side.
Okay, in favor of Endo
being
Endo passing
Komosubi. Yeah. So, we'll see. East Maegashira 1 will either be Hokuto Fuji or it'll be Endo. I got it as Hokuto Fuji. If I'm wrong, it's not by a whole lot, so not going to bother me too much. And so, in the past couple of basho, we've just had guys in the top Maegashira ranks with a 7 and 8 record, like Asano had at Maegashira 1 East in the previous basho, just move over 1 half rank. And I don't believe we're going to have that ability for Asano this basho, because you have Hokuto Fuji needs to be Maegashira 1 East, and Aoyama had an 8-7 record from Maegashira 2 East. He needs to take that Maegashira 1 West slot. So I don't think we're going to see Asano just slide over a half a rank, because we need room for both of those guys to advance.
Yeah, and I think having Aoyama move up a half rank is a little bit more important than Asano having a minimal demotion.
Yeah, exactly. So Maegashira 2, on the east side, we're going to have Ichinojo jumping up from Maegashira 4 West. He had a 9-6 record, including a Kinboshi over Hakuho. And
that was a good one.
That is going to give him the slight edge over Asano, who I have dropping in at Maegashira 2 West. And so Previously, there is precedent to have Tamawashi drop off at this point. I'm pretty sure Tamawashi has ended up at Maegashira 2 West with a 5-10 record from Sekiwake. But once again, we have too many people that deserve that rank before him.
So not so fast, Tamawashi.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, Asanoyama shouldn't be dropping any further than Maegashira 2 with a 7-8 record. And Ichinojo deserves this rank because he had a winning record and he had that Kinboshi. So we're going to keep kicking Tamawashi and Ryuden down the line a little bit longer. At Maegashira 3, on the east side, I'm going to put Daisho, who had an 8-7 record from Maegashira 3 West, so he's only moving up a half rank. And on the west side, we're going to have Tomokaze.
Sorry to interrupt, but Daisho, we don't really give him props, but I think this is his first, or at least very close to his first Kachikoshi in the Joy.
Yeah, he's been hanging around the Joy for the past 3 or 4-ish basho. He's been right at the top of the ranks and either been getting 7-8s or 8-7. So he's been hanging in there quite a bit better for a guy we really don't talk about. So
yeah, since we're not going to talk about him inevitably on any future episodes, good job.
Yeah, there you go. Good job, Daisho. And another guy who deserves a hearty good job and a pat on the back is Tomokaze, who I have going into the west slot. I would really like to move Tomokaze up to even Maegashira 1 or 2, but as we previously discussed, it's pretty busy up there already.
And he's coming from 7 West with an 11-4, and he got a special prize, didn't he?
He got outstanding performance for his Kinboshi win over Kakuryu. So I think the only thing that I could really do if I wanted to move up Tomokaze further is I'd jump him over Daisho. I'd leave Daisho at Maegashira 3 East. I'd move Tomokaze up to Maegashira 2 West and switch him with Asanoyama. Or I could even drop Asanoyama to Maegashira 3 East and then leave Daisho at Maegashira 3 West.
Yeah, this seems like a spot where if you get any of it wrong, you'll get 3 guys in a row wrong by 1 slot, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
A pretty safe spot where we're pretty confident that these are the couple guys that are going to be fighting for this rank here.
Yeah, and so I don't want to punish Asanoyama too much because he did go up against a full Sanyaku schedule, and from what I can tell in the past, the Banzuke committee does value that quite a bit in their promotions and demotions. And so I would really like to move Tomokaze up further. I just don't think I really can at this point, because that would also involve Daisho or Aoyama. Even if I wanted to move Tomokaze all the way up to Maegashira 1 West, they wouldn't get any promotion at all. And while I don't doubt that it has happened in the past, I personally don't ever remember seeing that happen, so I'm not going to just not move somebody with a winning record up the Banzuke.
Right. It seems like something where we've seen a handful of times a guy will have a losing record but doesn't get a demotion because of the situation. But I don't think we've seen anybody other than a Sekiwake not get a promotion from a winning record. Yeah,
and this situation might be a little tricky because we actually have one less Sanyaku rank. So I think even if we left Daisho at Maegashira 3 West, I think technically he would be moving up a half rank.
Oh, I suppose because there's one fewer Ozeki than there were last time.
Yeah, there's going to be one less person in front of him.
So it would technically be a promotion even if he had... This is silly.
Yeah, I'll have to see how this one plays out for future ones. I'm not going to mess with anything. I almost talked myself into trying to mess with something there, but I'm going to leave it as is. I now think Tomokaze is probably ranked a little bit too low if we take that into account, but I'm going to leave it as is and learn from, hopefully not this mistake, but learn in the future to kind of see how they deal with those situations when there are less people in the Sanyaku rank. So you could technically get promoted without moving on the Banzuke. And Jake is dying.
Oh my god, my throat is so dry. Let me get a glass of water.
Well, after that quick little break, Jake has loaded up with water and cough drops, so hopefully we won't have too many coughing fits the rest of this episode.
I wish I was dead.
Well, we can make that happen. I'm sure we can set you up with Ryuko, and he can decimate you like he does Sumo Legends.
Yeah, he's such a jerk.
And we have one more rank to wrap up the Joy, and that is the Maegashira 4 East slot, and that is going to go to Shodai, who I have only dropping down one rank after a 7-8 record.
That's awfully kind to him, I think.
What, are you jumping on the hate Shodai bandwagon with Fleric?
Well, Fleric's not here. I feel like that particular aspect of the podcast needs to be consistent, though.
That's fair. So let's move on to the mid-Banzuke portion, and we will start with Maegashira 4 West. And so this is where I have Tamawashi landing. I played around with the idea of putting him at Maegashira 4 East instead of and knocking down Shodai just one more half rank.
It's what Fleric would have done.
It's what Fleric would have done. And now that I keep talking through these things, there's so many things that I'm like, yeah, I should do that. But I'm not.
Nope, you locked him in before we started.
I locked him in, so this is where it's going to be. And it's only half rank, so it's not going to be too huge of a difference. But I got Tamawashi falling to the same spot that Ichinojo dropped last Basho after having a 5-10 record from the Sekiwake rank. And like I said, the only reasonable person you could rank him ahead of, I feel like, is Shodai. And I believe, once I did some more research again, that would tie the lowest ranking that a Sekiwake would have after having 5 wins in a Basho. So back-to-back Bashos that happening, that's kind of interesting. But like I said, don't think that's going to happen. I think Tamawashi is going to be on the east side, so I'll be pleasantly happy either way. I've now made it a win-win for me. Either I was right in my prediction or I'm right in this episode. So
you've made peace with your shenanigans here.
Exactly. We'll move on to Maegashira 5 East, where we have Chiyo Tairyu, and Maegashira 5 West, where we got Shima no Umi. Even though this was kind of broken in the last Basho, I'm still going to stick with the theory of moving up Rikshi that had the same record at the same rank, the same amount. So these guys both had an 8-7 record at Maegashira 6, so I'm going to move them both up to Maegashira 5. The only reason that I might have pause on that is Koto Shogiku, who had a 7-8 record from Maegashira. Let's see, Maegashira 4 or 5 last time.
We'll never know.
It looks like he was Maegashira 5, so never mind. I'm perfectly happy with Koto Shogiku dropping down to Maegashira 6 East. For some reason, I had it in my head he was a Maegashira 4, but no, that was Meisei and Ichinojo this time. So yeah, Koto Shogiku.
You're so dumb. God, do your homework.
Take a cough drop.
Shut up.
So we're just going to continue to talk through that as Koto Shogiku is just going to be dropping down one rank with that 7-8 record. He did have a Kinboshi over Hakuho, but unfortunately he got mega hanked by Abi in the final day. And on the west side, we're going to have Miyogiryu jumping up just a half rank with an 8-7 record. Started off real hot, but lost his last 5 in a row or something like that.
Not the kind of thing you need to do if you want to stay in the Sanyaku.
Exact. Well, Miyogiryu wasn't in the Sanyaku.
I forgot we moved on from Ryuden. I was a little bit busy getting some water so I wouldn't ruin our audio any further.
Jake must be doing some time hopping with those coughs because we hadn't even mentioned Ryuden, but we are now, so...
I hate everything about this. Why did you make me talk for an hour while we're just... whatever. Keep going.
Perfect.
Time hopping.
Maegashira 7 East, we have Ryuden all the way down from Komosubi. I'm not a huge fan of that big of a drop, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Maegashira West, Okidomi, jumping up one rank after an 8-7 record. So Ryuden, they seem to give the Sekiwake Komosubi kind of like the benefit of the doubt when they have a very poor record and they drop. So I don't like dropping Ryuden all the way down to Maegashira 7, even though he had a 4-11 record and that more than qualifies for that big of a drop.
That kind of fits your rule of thumb that a difference of 7 means give or take 7 drops.
Yeah,
You're just saying that when it's coming from the Sanyaku ranks, it's usually not quite so hard?
Yeah, but I think there might be too many people that did well at the top of the Banzuke for him to drop ahead of some of these people, because I was starting to look at him kind of towards Maegashira 5 or 6, but if I moved him up there, that would prevent me from moving a guy like Miyogiryu, who only went up a half rank. If I had Ryuden ahead of Miyogiryu, then Miyogiryu wouldn't be able to jump in the ranks at all, which, as we discussed with Daisho, may or may not be an issue depending on how this Banzuke is treated with the one less Sanyaku slot.
But it's pretty much supposed to be a lock that even if it's only a little bit of a good record, you should still move up a little bit.
Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure there's precedent for Komosubis dropping this far with this record. It's just recently we've seen them get the benefit of the doubt, but the way this Banzuke is playing out, I'm dropping Ryuden all the way down to Maegashira 7. At Maegashira 8, we're going to have Takada Fuji dropping off from a Maegashira 5 with a 6-9 record, so down 2 ranks. And Koto Ueko, another big jumper here at Maegashira 8 West. He was 9-6 from the Maegashira 10 rank, so not a big jumper. I forgot that this wasn't the last Banzuke where he jumped like 6 ranks with an 8-7 record.
Pull yourself together, man.
Look who's talking.
Shut up. I'm trying.
So we'll go on to the bottom of the Banzuke. This is actually kind of a nice breaking point in the Banzuke because I've already placed everybody that was in the top 8 ranks, except for Onosho, who was Maegashira 8 East last time. And so really we just have to focus on everybody that is Maegashira 9 and below, with the exception of Onosho and the people we're jumping up from Juryo. But it's just nice that we don't have to think of that Maegashira 3 that had a 3-12 record and where he's going to end up.
Yeah, it seems like it basically Onosho dropped out of this and Koto Ueko joined this block, and now we're just totally cut off, similarly to how the Joy is sometimes kind of cut off from the rest of the group.
Yeah. So at Maegashira 9, this is a big jump. We're going to have Terutsu Yoshi jumping up 7 ranks from Maegashira 16 and the very last Maegashira rank. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the biggest jump on the Banzuke. He had a 12-3 record with a Jun Yusho and a special prize, so very good record for here. Wouldn't be shocked if he jumped up a little bit further, but I'm dropping him off here at Maegashira 9 East, and we're going to drop off. So I lied. No, we had Meisei that still had to come down from above. You know how I did that example of a Maegashira 3 with a 3-12 record?
Yeah.
It was a Maegashira 4 with a 4-11 record. I was off by 1.
Oh, yeah. But that's okay because we're a fraud of a podcast.
That is 100% correct and the most accurate thing that will be said on this entire episode. So Maegashira 9 West, I'm putting Meisei there. I almost put Koto Yuki there, but there's
Good.
2 reasons. I'm giving
Good that you
Meisei
didn't.
the benefit of the doubt for facing most of a Sanyaku schedule, so he faced up much tougher competition than Koto Yuki, who's on the all the way other side of the Banzuke, facing the easiest competition. And the second reason is to do a solid for my buddy Jake.
Attaboy. Punish Koto Yuki however you can. Are you sure we can't demote him for an 11-4 record?
I don't think there's very much precedent for
I want
that.
you to do the math again.
I will do extensive calculations throughout the entire month between now and the Aki preview, and I will get back to you on that.
For what it's worth, in case people don't know why I hate Koto Yuki, sometimes I have to remind myself because I kind of just arbitrarily picked him as he's my nemesis.
Yeah, you don't really need a reason sometimes.
No, it kind of just makes it more exciting to hate somebody as much as I like other guys. But
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with me and Goedo. There's no real reason that I hate Goedo, but I really, truly hate Goedo. And it makes it more fun for me.
Yeah, exactly. The fully and completely petty reason that I dislike Koto Yuki is that he doesn't really put his hands down very much. He doesn't actually touch the dirt, and he's got them taped up like flippers so he doesn't have to worry about his fingers. I just feel like he's probably just a bad person overall. That's my conclusion. But anyways, moving on.
Yes, let's move on to Koto Yuki at Maegashira 10 East.
And next we have...
We have Sada no Umi at Maegashira 10 West. Koto Yuki had an 11-4 record for Maegashira 16, so he's jumping up 6 ranked slots there.
Too many.
And Sada no Umi had a 9-6 record for Maegashira 13, so jumping up 3 for him. Maegashira 11, we are now finally done with everybody. Maegashira 8 and above, that arbitrary line I drew before. Onosho is going to be Maegashira 11 East, I believe, after a 6-9 record at Maegashira 8, so a 3-rank drop for him. And we're going to have the highest rank ever for our buddy Enho, Maegashira 11 West, after that 9-6 record for Maegashira 14, so a 3-rank jump for him.
Is that his first Kachikoshi in the top division here?
It sure is, Jake.
All right.
And then at Maegashira 12, on the east side, we are going to have Sho Hozan, who had where was Sho Hozan last time?
6 and 9 from Megashira 9 East.
There it is. I was looking at the wrong side of the screen that I have all my records on.
That's okay. I got your back reading your own data.
And on the west side, Maegashira 12 West, we have Daishoho. And so this is a similar situation with Chiyotairyu Shimanumi. They had the same record, 6 and 9 from the same rank. Maegashira 9, so I'm moving them down the same amount to occupy the Maegashira 12 slot and shame together. Maegashira 13, on the east side, I have Kageyaki, who was 7 and 8 last time at Maegashira 12 West, so just a half rank drop for him. And on the west side, I'm putting Nishikigi there, who was 6 and 9 from Maegashira 11, so only a 2 rank drop for him. And then on the west side, Maegashira 14 East, we're going to have our first guy jumping up from Juryo, and I've got Tsurugisho here. And so this is the first Banzuke Prediction episode that we're recording where I don't have to wrestle with myself for putting a Juryo guy in the single-digit Maegashira ranks, like we did with Takagenji and Shimanoumi the past couple of bashos.
Tsurugisho, he won the Yusho in Juryo, but he wasn't right at the top, right? He was kind of mid-Juryo.
He was Juryo 6, had a 13-2 record, so this is going to be like a 8 or 9 rank jump for him. So that's pretty appropriate for a 13-2 record. So I think that is a pretty good spot for him. I almost want to switch him with Nishikigi, but once again, Nishikigi faced the tougher schedule since he was in Makuuchi, so going to give the guy with the tougher schedule the benefit of the doubt here and have Tsurugisho at Maegashira 14 East. On the west side, I'm going to put Toyonoshima, who had a 7 and 8 record from Maegashira 14 East, so just dropping down a half rank for him. Maegashira 15, we're going to drop off Takagenji, who we picked up at the Maegashira 10 rank. He had a 4 and 11 record, so he's dropping down 5 ranks here. And on the west side, we are going to have Ishiura, our second Juryo promotion here. He had a 9 and 6 record from about Juryo 2-ish, I think. So jumping up about 2 or 3 ranks for him. And so as long as everybody is healthy, as long as everybody shows up, Hakuho should finally have his small boy Dohyo Iri with Enho and Ishiura, as all 3 of them will be in the Makuuchi division.
And this is the spot where a competent editor would have put in a bunch of like awesome party horns. Yeah, that's close enough. That's all you're gonna get.
Yeah. If Jake had any voice left, he would be doing his best impersonation of Howard Dean and his scream at the end of the Iowa caucus, but Jake is in no condition for such a thing.
No, not at all. I'm gonna, as soon as we finish editing this, I'm gonna NyQuil myself into a deep slumber for the next 12 hours.
Once again, a competent editor would edit in the Howard Dean noise. So, we'll see if that happens. Spoiler alert, probably didn't.
And here's that awkward silence where it would have gone.
Moving on to Maegashira 16 East, we're going to have Tochi Ozan, who was 5 and 10 from Maegashira 12, so dropping down 4 ranks for him. And Maegashira 16 West, we're going to have our third Juryo promotion with Azumaryu, who had a 8 and 7 record from one of the Juryo 1 slots. I don't remember if he was East
Juryo
or West.
1 West.
Yeah. So just jumping up a rank or 2 for Azumaryu. I keep saying like a rank or 2 or rank 2 or 3 ranks because now we have a Maegashira 17 again.
Oh, that's right. We have the what we used to call the Nishikigi slot,
which will be occupied this time by Yutakayama. And he was battling for that spot with Chiyomaru, Mac's favorite round boy. Chiyomaru, unfortunately, had a 5 and 10 record from Maegashira 13. And so to hold on, we only would have dropped him 4 numbered ranks, which, I mean, we kind of did that with Tochi Ozan.
Yeah, this is another one where it's kind of debatable whether Chiyomaru drops down or not.
Yeah,
and it's between him and Yutakayama for who gets that final slot for sure.
Yutakayama had a 9 and 6 record from Juryo 3, so once again, very easily could be put into the slot. I give the slight edge to Yutakayama because, as we mentioned, Chiyomaru is Mac's favorite, and Mac recently made me suffer and every one of you listeners suffer by having me sing a parody version of Oops, I Did It Again. So to make Max suffer, I am personally sending his favorite rickshaw down to Jurio.
This is far from the last time we'll have such a petty reason to do so, but I fully support this decision from you, Ryan.
If it's wrong, I'm very happy with the decision that I've made.
That's worth a point on the scorecard.
Exactly. So that wraps up the entire Banzuke with Maegashira 17 East. So we mentioned everybody that was coming up from Jurio, but that does mean we're going to have 4 people going down to Jurio. And so that's going to be Yoshikaze, who was absent from this Basho, going down to Jurio for the first time in who knows how long.
Ages.
We're going to have Chiyomaru going back down after being down there to start off the year. Yago is going back down after a 3 Basho stint at Makuuchi, and the injured Kaisei is going to be going back down to Jurio, and I think he was down in Jurio sometime last year or the year before.
Yeah, fairly recently, and again, it was injuries, just like it looks like it is again. Kaisei's, his talent is not the reason he's suffering here, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, you may have noticed that there wasn't a particular section that there were a lot of sections where I was hemming and hawing over minor things, but not anything like last time where I had to promote Koto Waco 6 slots after an 8-7 record.
Yeah.
Or the previous time I know the previous Basho had some weird stuff as well. So I feel pretty good about this Banzuke. Like I said, it was much easier to put together than the last 2. There's no real spot where somebody needed to be over-promoted or under-demoted or vice versa. Every spot had at least one logical choice, and obviously I'm not going to get this perfect. I've already flip-flopped on a couple of things that I put down. I do think this has potential to be my best one yet, because I think the mistakes that I make are going to be very minimal.
Yeah, there's not going to be like an 8-point error on Shima Naomi when he came up from Jurio or something like that.
Yeah,
was that a big one for you?
And then Toyo Noshima last time I missed by 5 total ranks. Oof. So this one's going to depend on if I was right or not on Abi not being promoted to Sekiwake, Tomokaze only making up to Maegashira 3, if I got the Jurio to Makuuchi exchange right, and then I think the only other big one would be booting Ryuden as far down as I did. But like I said, even those misses should be fairly minor, and even if I hit half of those, I'm going to be pretty happy and in good shape for this Banzuke.
And I think the biggest potential one, we've the way that we've set up our scoring for like how well Ryan does when he puts together this Basho or this Banzuke. The biggest potential issue is going to be Yutakayama versus Chiyomaru, because if you get a Jurio versus Makuuchi promotion wrong, that's worth a handful of points.
Yeah, because I didn't place Chiyomaru on my Banzuke, so I can't accurately say that.
Right, I think we did.
How far off I would have been had I decided to place him.
I think if you get a Jurio promotion wrong, I think we put that at 5 points or something. Yeah. And I don't see any other jump on this Banzuke that's going to rival 5 points. So I think if there is one that's going to be rough for you, it's going to be that one. Or potentially when Ryuko gets promoted to Megashira, I don't know, maybe like 13 or so. He slayed the dragon that is Amanishiki, and I think that they're going to take that into account pretty seriously.
So you think that 4-11 record from the bottom of Jurio, because he ended the career of Amanishiki, deserves the promotion, probably the likes of which have never been seen.
Hey, I don't want to be the one to deny him a promotion, because my joints are just as scared.
All right, before we finish out this episode, well, Jake, what is your official, I believe we need to come up with a better term for it. I think last time it was the super special high five guess. On what's your official pick for what my worst one is going to be. And I don't think that Chiyomaru Yutakayama one is just kind of gaming the system a little bit.
Dang. Okay, I was going to pick that one because I'd say it's like 50-50, which means that, I would, to put it in a statistics phrase, I would say you have an expected point gain of 2.5 there, a 50% chance to get 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess here is going to be, I know that it all makes sense logically, but it really sucks to see Ryuden demoted so far and Tomokaze promoted not as far as I think he should be. Like I said, I know I get the logic of why you picked it. I think that Ryuden is probably going to be your tough point here. I think that's the one that's most likely to give you an error. But luckily, I'm not the one putting the entire Banzuke together, so if I get it wrong, the stakes are much lower.
Yeah, that's probably the one that's sticking out most for me as well. And so if you don't know or you didn't listen to our previous Banzuke prediction episode, the super special high five thing for Jake is just if he...
It's a reason I get to talk. Which sucks this episode.
Yeah,
Ow.
if he guesses what my worst prediction is, like who I'm off by the most ranks on, he gets a super special high five in the Banzuke review episode.
It's totally better than a regular high five.
Yeah, you guys don't even understand. You'd have to be there.
You've never had one. It's special.
Before we wrap up this episode, do just want to make a quick correction from the Banzuke prediction for the Nagoya Basho that we did 2 months ago. When I did that, I had switched Onosho and Okinoumi, because when I make my Banzuke, I have to record it in 3 different spots, and so I switched those 2 guys around at one point and recorded it wrong, whatever. So I had claimed that
That's just poor data management.
So I had claimed that I had those 2 guys in the right spot. I did not, and so just to update the official stats from our Nagoya Banzuke review episode, I got 17 bullseyes, which is exactly correct predictions, instead of the 19 that I said I did, for a total of 40%. And then I had 6 people that were at the correct rank, but on the wrong side. All the other stats that I listed off of that episode will remain the same. I know I'm the only person that cares if I made any mistakes, but I prefer to let people know when I was wrong as opposed to just letting that slide.
And if you don't worry. I got your back. I will let everyone know when you're wrong.
You'll let people know that I'm wrong even when I was 100% right, just to lie to them and make me sound bad.
Sounds about right.
So that is going to wrap up the Aki Banzuke prediction episode. The Banzuke will be officially released on August 26th, and so maybe the day after that Tuesday after that, we'll probably have our Banzuke review episode up. Depends on our schedule, but typically,
give or take,
that should work out pretty well. But if you enjoy this podcast, you can go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the good junk. Our blog is grandsumobreakdown.com.
If you have any comments, corrections, or questions, you can shoot us an email at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com. And you could also leave us a voicemail at 805-613-7866. That is 805-613-SUMO.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.